Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a late night live stream. Hmm. Yeah, my birthday is tomorrow. Georgia Bama. That's a good game, man. Hopefully, for me, hopefully Georgia wins. Doesn't look too good for Penn State right now. Penn State really laid an egg again. Notre Dame crushed Arkansas. I like think Notre Dame looks great, man. Notre Dame's offense is really impressive. They still have issues in their secondary, but they look really impressive. That's why I didn't understand people wanting them unranked. It doesn't make sense. Candace Owens is saying some pretty wild stuff. Oh, really? I didn't know. Being sarcastic. Thoughts on the many theories? I don't know. I have to look at them. I think uh, I think he got shot from the front, and I mean I'm sure they're gonna release some type of report. I'm just hoping there's an autopsy. Lego vid was sweet. Did you see the bank building they sell? It's not a Lego set. It's a different brand. Lego would never sell something like that. You have to understand. I said that in the video. It was a longer video, but Lego wouldn't sell a set like that. That was 14,000 pieces. Happy birthday, Unc. Yeah, you guys can guess. Well, you probably know my age, but guess what age I'm turning. Thoughts on Florida State loss? I wasn't surprised. No, I really wasn't surprised. 26, 31, 16, 26, 26, 31, 26, 69, 30, 37. Yeah, these are troll. 23, 67, 41, 19. That'd be pretty nice. 19, 28, 25, 22, 29. Yeah. Well, most people, I've told people 26 is what it is. 27, 26. SPX 6900. Rest in peace. No, I mean it's a good buying time. It's a good buying time to it. Thoughts on OSU versus Wash? I thought it was a weird game. I'm surprised at how little Ohio State trusts Sayin. Seems surprising. I mean, I don't think Sayin attempted a pass 20 yards down the field. And by the way, Washington's secondary is really bad. There's a lot of these normie Ohio State fans that are like, well, Washington's a good team. And that was a great win. Washington is going to get gashed during their season. Ohio State did not take advantage of Washington's biggest weakness. I mean, they still won, but as soon as you hit 25, they call you Unk. Depends how young they are. 17-year-old thinks like a fucking 20-year-old is old. Or like a 15-year-old thinks a 20-year-old is old. Thoughts on Penn State? Um, Penn State looks terrible, man. Their offense is just anemic. They don't have receivers. I mean, you can say Aller sucks, but I mean, you're trying to like get me canceled or something. I mean, do I enjoy being around blacks in a city? Well, I mean, I don't go into major cities very often. Honestly, can't tell you the last time I went to the closest city to me, which is Cleveland. I don't. That's been probably years. Thoughts on Gen Alpha having a lower IQ than older generations? I don't know. Is that true? I think IQ is it would have to be very slightly lower, if anything, if that's true. Maybe that has to do with the crutch of social media, the crutch of the internet. You'd think kids would be smarter because they'd be able to look up anything, but maybe not. Penn State is back in it. Yeah, I mean, hopefully Penn State can win that game. The problem is Penn State was -3.5. I had them winning by 5. I don't think they're going to be able to cover that. Even if they win, they'd win by a field goal at this point. They were down 17-3. Did they score? Downtown Cleveland sounds depressing. Yeah, downtown Cleveland. I mean, there's decent areas, it's like slightly better than Detroit, I think. But I never been to Detroit. But yeah, most of Cleveland is not good. There's not really any nightlife. Well, there is. I think in any major city, there's going to be some form of nightlife in good areas, but it depends where you're at. Just like any city, there's really horrible areas at pretty much every major U.S. city. Then there's higher end areas. 17-10. Did the towers clap freeze full speed? I mean, no, they didn't. It's slightly slower. Slightly slower. Like 1 second slower than free fall speed is how fast the towers collapsed, which is pretty funny. Just based off of what people say. Unstable. Eric, I appreciate the donation. Thoughts on the new Mossad PSYOP dork that came out of nowhere? Braylon Hollyhand is who I think you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really see it with him. People were saying, well, he's the new Charlie Kirk. It's impossible. The kid's 19. How is he the new Charlie Kirk if he's a 19-year-old? That kid doesn't have anywhere close to the knowledge or it just wouldn't work. So I don't know. I mean, it's like a neocon baby basically. It's a neocon in a child form. So, but people go at him and they're gonna try and tear into him. I don't really think he's like a milk toast establishment Republican in a younger Gen Z form. So, you feel bad for him. People are gonna go after him really bad, but I don't know, man. You watched my Israeli art students video and you still believe Israel didn't hijack those planes? And no, I don't believe they hijacked the planes. No. The Israel hijacked the planes in what form? What they convinced the hijackers to do? I don't see the proof there, man. But I don't want to get into another 9/11 thing, man. I really don't. But I mean, you go watch the video. The video wasn't even I mean, I said there's some coincidences, but if you're trying to find hard proof on those art students in relation, I mean, it really doesn't exist. Like, I went digging for it. Trust me. That's how I came across the Dancing Israelis. I was so shocked at how much evidence there was. But the art students is like they're going into government buildings. There's not proof they went to the Twin Towers and fucking planted bombs, dude. There's no proof of that. Thoughts on JJ McCarthy in the NFL? Josh Dobbs was better than him on the Vikings. Yeah, I think JJ McCarthy's been really bad, but he you can't really. I mean, what is it? 2 games? I'm not going to kill the kid for 2 games, but I think JJ McCarthy was way overdrafted. He was a handoff merchant. I mean, that was a run first team. They barely threw Michigan. So him going in the first round, that's like a third round developmental pick, JJ McCarthy. But that happens so much in the NFL where there'll be quarterbacks that are just clearly not like Anthony Richardson, Paxton Lynch, remember him? But it happens like every year where there are quarterbacks that are just not good. I mean, being a quarterback in the NFL it's got to be miserable. I mean, look at the numbers these quarterbacks are putting up now. It's put some of the worst shit. It's just terrible. The NFL is a horrible product. I can't watch it anymore. I'm not doing the predictions anymore. Just I don't know the fucking. I mean, I'll see the scores, I guess, but it's a terrible product. The NFL. I'll watch college, but I won't watch the NFL. Drew Aller. Yeah, Drew Aller looks terrible. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he can make a comeback tonight. Yeah, did you see all the people? You see all the people walk out of the UN assembly with Bibi speaking? It's like, what was it, like 75% of the people left when he was speaking. I mean, that just goes to show you where we're at with Israel and their favorability rating in the world at this point. It's extremely low. Who gave you the call? Uh, my mother. My father gave me the call. Browns have broken your spirit. No, it's not even that. I mean, I was never even like, when I was younger, I was more of a Browns fan, but I was a general NFL fan. It wasn't even like I was had a huge fandom for the Browns, honestly. The Browns were never good. But I used to love playing fantasy, like in 2013, 2014. And then it just kind of, I don't know what happened, man. The quarterbacks all retired. Really, that's what happened. The quarterbacks retire, and they changed the jerseys. The jerseys look like shit now. You know whose jerseys look terrible? The Guardians. It's hard for me to watch a Cleveland Guardians game when they have a fucking marathon patch. It's like they're wearing marathon jerseys, not Guardians jerseys. How does an owner look at that and be like, I like that product. That's good. Looks like complete shit. I can't watch the Guardians. They have a fucking marathon. They're like a gas station. The team is a gas station. And the jerseys look like they're spring training jerseys. Have you guys noticed that with baseball now? All the jerseys are. Remember they did it with the whole Fanatics thing. They had like Fanatics make their jerseys. They're all spring training jerseys. These are not major league. This is not major league baseball quality that we saw 5 or 6 years ago. These jerseys suck. I'm not gonna watch a spring training quality thing with the fucking pitch clock and the run around second base like I'm in third grade. Yeah, we would do that in like seventh grade. We'd have a run around second base. We're not getting paid $4 million a year. Do you see the Cardinals cream jerseys with the black dots? Yeah, I think all that new shit is bad, honestly. I used to like when they would do the throwbacks one week. Back they would do the throwbacks. Now it's like all these different configurations. I think white jerseys are really ugly most cases. I think it's just a bad color to wear. Did you go to Ohio State for college? No, I didn't. I didn't go anywhere for college. You and Nick both gave in to them. It's over. Yeah, Nick got a lot more money than me. He got like a fucking 30 or $40 million. I got a lot less than that, but I'll take my 150K and be fine. The new MLB Nike jerseys are total dog shit. Oh, it's all cutting costs. It's all cutting costs. It looks terrible. But you look at the just look at the Guardians jerseys. They're spring training jerseys. You can't tell me otherwise. They're like fucking they're paper thin. The jerseys are like you can see through them. And then they have the patch, which is the patch is like see the thing is even if you have a patch or whatever you want to put advertising there, why does it have to be so obnoxiously big? Like if I was a player and I'm throwing, I would feel the patch, like the weight of the patch as I throw. That's how the patch is. The marathon patch. Go look at the Guardians jerseys, you'll see. You won't be able to watch the Guardians games anymore if you look at that patch. That it's like I was trying to watch the game, they're on Fox. And then how about the Guardians getting rewarded? They have the third worst offense in baseball. They make the playoffs. Their fans are going crazy. This team is terrible. This team is terrible. They have the third worst offense in baseball. They're gonna make the playoffs. We're gonna lose to the Yankees. We've been knocked out of the playoffs again by the Yankees like 7 straight times or something. I don't know if they're gonna match up with the Yankees or maybe not because I don't think the Yankees are gonna win the division. All of these countries that are recognizing Palestine are doing it to save their images, not because they give a shit about Palestine. The leaders have horrible approval. Yeah. Well, also the European countries tend to be more liberal, so it makes more sense that they would start recognizing it. The United States, it's not popular to support Israel in the US even at this point. But yeah, what does recognizing Palestine at this point really even mean anymore? But I mean, Trump said that none of the areas were going to be annexed. I found that interesting. What's the realistic bear case for NASDAQ? Bro, we have to be in the fucking bear case right now. If we're talking about an actual bear case, that would be a crypto winter. That's a crypto winter. If we have a significant downturn, we're gonna fucking have to reevaluate something, dude. I'll tell you, because I don't know what to say. I mean, besides the economy, the wheels of justice need to start picking up. More deployments. Are you saying deportations and indictments? Trump's got to stop fucking around on this. Well, I mean, I don't know if any of that shit's gonna actually do anything, dude. I mean, this is like the Nazi, like, so Trump's gonna indict all these people. They all know people. It's gonna be, Biden judges, Obama judges. None of these people are gonna be found guilty. They're trying to indict him on like something that he said during one of his testimonies or one of his hearings. It's like, who knows if any of that shit's even gonna go through. He just wants retribution. He does. He got fucked over. They tried going after him politically. But the thing is, this is what the liberals do. They'll do it locally. So Biden and the actual administration can say, well, we didn't do that. That was a local thing. Sure, all the people were liberal, and the county is liberal, and the district is liberal, and the court is liberal, and the judge is liberal. Everyone's liberal, but that's not us. That is a local thing, like the racketeering case in Georgia or the money case in New York. With Trump, they'll say, well, he's directly involved in this. Trump is forcing this. But it's like, dude, I just want the country to be run well, man. But it's like so many of the supporters want all this retribution against these people, and I get it, I guess. But this is like all the domestic infighting we talk about. You'll vote for Newsom over Palantir, Peter's boy. Yeah, I'm sure you will, man. I've heard a lot of that from gropers. You'll probably just not vote. I mean, that's the same thing that you guys did in 2024. You're just not going to vote. Israel is the only foreign government we allow to show ads on American television and YouTube. Ads like pro-Israel ads, none of that really is going to do anything at this point. But I mean, obviously, you recognize AIPAC is really the only successful lobbying in terms of bipartisan support. All the other foreign lobby forms are they have Republican support or Democrat support. AIPAC is bipartisan. That's why people are so angry. What do you think of the huge spready college football games, like 40 plus spreads? I mean, that just happens. It's going to happen in college because of the talent difference with recruiting on these teams. I actually don't mind it. Well, it can be annoying, but I mean, Ohio State faces Minnesota next week. They'll be like minus 25, 26, I would guess, based off of like the analytical numbers. Country you most want to visit? I don't even, probably a European country because I haven't been to Europe yet. Dude, this is a thing that I should say. I'm sure some of you saw the Indiana situation. Indiana was up 20-13 at their own 40-yard line. There's 3 seconds left in the game. The spread was like 7 or 7.5, but let's just say it's 7. They're up by 7, so it's a push. There's 3 seconds left in the game. It's 4th down, so they can't kneel it, because if they kneel it, they'll give the ball back to Iowa. So Fernando Mendoza decides to run, and this is a really just retarded play, honestly, because there's no reason to do that. That's going to hurt your statistics, and it's going to hurt your advanced numbers. Fernando Mendoza runs 40 yards, so it's a loss of 40 yards back into his own end zone. Takes a safety because they didn't want to punt it. All you have to do in a scenario like that, if there's 3 seconds left, you roll out, You have somebody running a deep route and you chuck the ball out of bounds. That's it. And you lose no yardage. If you lose 40 yards, that actually affects your analytical numbers. And they factor that in terms of like selecting playoff teams and stuff. So I thought that was a really dumb play. I don't know why you would lose 40 yards on purpose, because like the total yardage goes into all of it in terms of the composite and how good you are as a team. You lose 40 yards on a single play. Some of these coaches, man, like who is telling? All you have to do is roll out and chuck the ball as high as you can out of bounds to run 3 seconds off of the clock. Irish people aren't white. Yeah, we're the whitest people. We're the whitest Celtics. Have you ever been banned on YouTube? No, I don't believe that's true. I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've only been demonetized, but it was an automation error when I got demonetized. It was an automation error. That's the thing with a lot of it. When you know, a lot of it, if it says spam or anything like that, it's very likely an automation error. You know, YouTube they have so many accounts and so many videos and all of it. And so a lot of it is that, but I don't think, I don't see any videos that would ban me or anything like that. It can't happen. But I've talked to those people. They are opening it up. I mean, I know Fuentes and Alex Jones tried coming back on and they didn't let them, but you're allowed to say a little bit more stuff. Why is the NFL dying? Gen Z focus on more gaming. No, it's not dying. It's not dying at all. It's very popular, the NFL. Yeah, I just don't like it. But I can't sit here and say it's dying because but dude, you know, it's like late stage capitalism. I don't want to say it, but it's like it's more ads. They're sacrificing actual home games for teams because their games have to be in London. They have to be in fucking Zimbabwe. They're in Egypt now. They go to Brazil. They go to Ireland. They have all these games scheduled in like 7 or 8 different countries. And why do they do that? Is it good for the actual domestic product? Absolutely not. They're doing it for money. Look at college football. College football is going to Germany and some of these other places, and they just do it for money. They sacrifice the overall product because they want to make more money immediate. They want to make immediate money. But the last thing we need is more like, I think college football has to try and gatekeep themselves. They have all the NIL stuff now. So that's money, but they have to try and keep the tradition somehow. I mean, I'm fine with the 12-team playoff, but if they expand it anymore, that's where it becomes a big problem. I actually like the 12-team playoff. The issue with college football is you can't have a Power 5 team that goes undefeated that doesn't have a chance to win a national title. That's stupid. And that's what would happen with like the BCS or the 4-team playoff. Romans mocked your ancestors. Well, everyone mocked us. We didn't colonize a single country. Now we're being colonized by immigrants. We don't even have our own island. Look at Northern Ireland. I'm just saying the government shouldn't allow that. The FCC needs to crack down on Israel government ads here. Yeah, I mean, dude, but like with Israel, if they show more Israel ads, that's going to make people dislike Israel even more. Like if they show pro-Israel ads, that's where the discussion is with Israel at this point. They're just so radioactive. Is crypto bull run dead? No, it's not dead. The fact that you're saying is actually bullish. You personally think it should be 8 teams? Top 8s are usually the one capable of winning it all. Top 8 teams. Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't mind 8 teams, but I do think 4 was too little. People said they liked 4, and then they said the expansion was too much. The problem is, like, FSU went undefeated, and they don't have a chance because of an injury. It's just like, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, You can't gatekeep. You can't gatekeep it that much. You should give teams chances, but you walk a thin line. Should the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico become states? No, they don't have the population for that. Well, actually, Puerto Rico does have the population, but no, this would be a democratic state. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make sense to bring Puerto Rico in. It would be a mess for them too. They would lose a lot of tax benefits. Puerto Rico, a lot of the money that they make, and the tourism that they get, and the people that live there because of tax benefits. They're gonna run into problems if they're fine as a territory. If Republicans win New Jersey governor by 5 to 10 points, is it a pure swing state? Yeah, I think there's no way they win by 5 to 10 points. Citarelli may narrowly win it, though. Trump 2028, DJT, DG is here. Thank you for that. Visit your Irish homeland before it's completely Islamic. Well, it's 81% Celtic. Greeks or Italians, the true Romans. I would say definitely not Italians. You think Trump is going to do anything pretty extreme or nothing ever happens? I mean, he's indicting people. I don't know, man. The politics stuff is just tiring at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now there's indictments. Now there's it's just like I see some of this shit. It's just like it's like the same thing. It's like the same story. It's different stories, but it's the same thing over and over again. Now we're into the indictment section. When can we be in the Greenland section? Can we go back to the Greenland section? Now we have to do all the fucking lawfare. But the supporters love this shit. I'm gonna see these scores or some shit, man. Let me just say this. Penn State making a comeback. Georgia at their own 5. Well, why do you think the left and right have such a different view on Charlie Kirk's murder? Because obviously Kirk is a conservative. Of course they're going to have a different view. Conservatives loved Kirk. The left hated him. Of course they're going to have a different view on his murder. But no, okay, I'll give you a real answer. The left is conditioned to where they think it's just to kill political enemies because they think political enemies want to kill them. But really what it is they are falling for like a psyop from stuff that's actually post-World War II. They basically, any liberal white person has significant white guilt, and they should go to therapy for that. All these leftists talk about going to therapy and stuff. You have white guilt, you should go to therapy for that. All of them have white guilt. They hate their own race. And they should try and fix that and love their own race. So all these white women, liberal women that go to therapy and stuff, and they have to get 40 tattoos, go to therapy for that. Do you think TCU would have won in 2014? I'll be honest, that was a good TCU team, Trayvon Boykin. That was a hell of a team. I don't know if they would have won, man. That would have been a good team. That's why we need the playoff expanded for sure. That team should have been given a chance. I mean, obviously Ohio State got the spot and ended up winning, so it was like, I mean, if Ohio State gets the spot and then gets blown out by Bama, everyone would have said TCU should have been in. They were still saying it. Thoughts on Candace Owens? I think Candace has just gone too far into the grift. But, like, the encouragement. This is the problem. Candace Owens will do the conspiracy stuff with Charlie Kirk, and she'll get, like, 8 million views. So where do you think that leads? That's just more encouragement. It is the echo chamber. There's all these people that love Candace Owens. And so she gets encouragement to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And now she's talking about this, like, bee thing where they're, like, fucking singing bee songs to each other. They're, like, bathing in honey. It's like this, and then that's her new conspiracy theory about Tyler Robinson. And then her supporters are like, she's onto it. And she's like, I got this new video, guys. You'll never believe. And it's the same video we saw the day of the shooting, of the shooter running back. And then her supporters are like, oh, you got it. And you know what? I think that Dairy Queen video was from months before. And she said it was on the night out of the shooting. So I think she just lies, and it's just like, but then she gets encouragement, and her supporters are like, oh, you got it now. You solved the case. They're lying. It was Israel all along. Do you think Brigitte Macron is a dude? This is what I'll say. Look, people say, okay, now I might have to defend her on that. No, I'm not going to, but there's been some weird clips with Brigitte Macron. If you look at the movements and the relationship, the grooming, I mean, their relationship started. He was like 16, she was like 30, or like 18 and 30. I mean, it was really, she was like his school teacher or something. There's something weird with that. I'm sorry. There's something really odd with that. So I'm not going to fully hate on her for that. There's some weird stuff going on with Macron. You got pulled over for speeding? Yeah, well, that'll happen. I only got pulled over for speeding once. It was in a school zone. But normally you just go 5 to 7 over. They're not going to pull you over. I've gone by, you go like 42 on a 35, you'll be fine. But once you get to like 10 or 11 over. Remember when you picked Drexel to win it all? Yeah, that was a troll bracket, I'm guessing. You've watched some of the 9/11 videos. Do you plan on doing more? Yeah, I mean, I'll get some more out. It's just, they're time consuming, honestly, man. Especially the one I want to do. It's very time consuming. The iceberg part 2, it's probably like, I mean, I could split it up and do it. It's like, dude, I need to make it like a fucking school assignment. If it was a school assignment, I'd be like, force myself to do it. Because I remember when school assignments used to be due and I'd have to do it, and I'd be like forced to do it. But with these videos, I'm really not forced to do them. Why carry whole history of your race on your shoulders? I'm not sure what you mean by that. C. Owens fell off. She is not MAGA. Obviously not. She thinks, I mean, but dude, she doesn't want to be MAGA. She says Trump's just an Israel shill. So it's not even like, thoughts on the crypto cloud to devalue or debt idea? Crypto cloud? I have thought of the idea of somehow using crypto to bring down the debt. But dude, the debt is honestly, the debt is a very complicated thing, because having debt is perfectly healthy. Obviously, the debt that we have is out of control, but it is trying to bring it down. I mean, you've got to cut a bunch of fucking. You either tax the hot or rich people, which will negatively impact the economy, or you bring down a lot of the handouts. Oh, regarding white guilt. Okay, yeah, no, I agree with you then. But no, that's actually, hold on. What did this say? Carry the whole history. But no, in terms of the innovation with Caucasian people, stuff like that, you should be proud of it. But it's more of a conditioning. It's a social conditioning based on how white people have been so successful in the past, and so that's really where the guilt comes from. You want debt, just not $38 trillion. Yeah, no, that's what it is, and it's runaway debt or whatever they say. It's a debt spiral now. Penn State tied it. Well, maybe they'll be able to win by Now they'll probably just win by, if they win, they'll win by a field goal. Yeah, Penn State needed to come back really bad. That was looking terrible for them. You can tax all the rich 99% and take 90% of their wealth, and it will run the government for. Yeah, you are right, but dude, even when you tax the rich and stuff, like there's going to be a ripple that's going to be negative 100%. There's going to be a ripple down effect that is not going to be pretty if you heavily tax the rich. But you can't. They would have to tax them incrementally. You wouldn't be able to tax them heavily because it's still capitalism. You have to still allow people to become rich. Have you ever visited the 9/11 departure gates? Inside the airports? No. No, I haven't. Look it up. Apparently, the government wants to swap some of its 37 trillion into crypto, devalue it, and reset the system. IDK, how true it is. I'd have to look into that. Yeah, no, I'd have to look into it. There's probably something you can do through crypto to try and do, but dude, 37 trillion. It's like it's almost like you're trying to hide money or basically make money disappear. If that's what the concept is. You can do it with smaller amounts. I don't know if you can really do it with 37 trillion, but maybe you only need to do it with the deficit. But even the deficit is 2 trillion. What do you call everything anti-Israel a grift? Well, because a lot of it is. When you look at it, I mean, that's really where we're at. Basically, everything is blamed on Israel, and so it's you look at some of these people like Dan Bilzerian. I mean, you think that dude's like ridiculously pro-Muslim. I was listening to him, man. Oh my god, like bro, you hate Israel, but it's like, bro needs to move to Dearborn. Seriously, that's where some of these people get. It's just insane. So if things went better for Germany, like Dunkirk, the Eastern Front, would Operation Sea Lion have been doable? At least partially occupy, not necessarily take over the whole island. What Germany taking over the UK? You're saying? I mean, Hitler didn't want to take over the UK. Most viral video. It's like a 9/11 video. Your video you dropped today was super proper. I've had that video for like 4 or 5 days, but I wanted to change something, so I had to redo it, and I had it saved as a draft. The way I get rich off crypto is waiting until a coin becomes shit, then invest into it and selling it when it takes off. But that's like the thing that you do with it. Well, I guess it's really exaggerated with crypto. Well, no, dude. The basics are you invest during because it's a 4-year cycle. So you invest during the bear part, which would be, in this case, if there's a 4-year cycle, 2021, 2025, you invest sometime in mid 2022 or 2023. You should do decent. When it comes to meme coins, it's a total crapshoot. Some meme coins will boom. Some meme coins won't do anything. Meme coins react differently. But if like Chainlink or ADA or any of these, but like you talk about all these high cap coins, they're very similar to stocks. These coins will not do the crazy crypto 100x, 200x. They'll do a 10 or a 15x at the best. Many of the higher caps. That's why people get into crypto. They think it's different. I mean, it is more volatile, but a lot of these normies get in and they invest into coins that are 30 or 40 billion dollars in terms of market cap. You're not going to make 100x off of that. The one thing that's interesting with Bitcoin, the function of Bitcoin as being like this crazy stored value really makes no sense. Bitcoin, yes, it does have a supply capped at 21 million, but consider it's going up. So the idea that it's this scarcity stored value, it's being mined every day. Yeah, with the halving, the 4-year cycle, the rewards, the mining rewards are less. But like the idea that Bitcoin would be this great stored value is strange when you really think about it. because they never developed Bitcoin to be a stored value. And if you're mining it and if more is circulating, you would think with cryptocurrency it'd be very easy to create a token that deflates, so it would guarantee you to have, more money because it would be deflating every year. But Bitcoin really will never deflate. It'll just keep being mined and more will come into circulation until it hits 21 million. It's just interesting that they think, well, this is the ultimate stored value coin. I guess it's just based off of the narrative of it and stuff. But I don't know. Thoughts on Polish politics? Well, I know Poland is very right wing with very little immigration, limited immigration. You'd say they're, in comparison to the Western European countries, they're certainly right wing. They're definitely one of the further right wing, and I like what Poland is doing. And you look at Poland in terms of immigration charts versus all the other European countries, it's not even close. They're letting in basically no one, Poland is. So I think they're doing a good job. Is it too late to invest into Bitcoin? Yeah, it's too late. You're talking about an asset. It's like asking, is it too late to invest into Apple? Is it too late to invest into Tesla? Is it too late to invest into Nvidia? Bitcoin is at $1.2 trillion. Now, you think Bitcoin's going to go to gold? Gold is the most valuable asset in terms of market cap. It's at 22 trillion. So Bitcoin goes to gold, right? Because it's digital gold. And that's a 10x. You're talking about, if you think Bitcoin's going to be the most valuable thing, the most valuable asset on earth, you're getting a 10x out of that. That's not a good return on investment. Just to become the most valuable asset, it's only a 10, or to become the most valuable asset, which is a monumental thing, it's a 10x. That's not good enough. Now, Bitcoin is, and I remember looking at Bitcoin, the Bitcoin price in 2016 on Coinbase, and it was $2,000, and I looked at it. So I'm telling you this now, it's just not worth it. Funny how the GOP who flip to Dem Lib always shift blame to Israel. Had a friend once pro-Trump, now he switched up and does the same. Who flipped to Dem Lib always shift to blame Israel. Yeah, I don't really see that dynamic. When they start, when they stop backing Trump and MAGA because of Israel, the more likely scenario is they're going further right than going lib. Now, maybe you have personal examples, but I don't know. I just see the way I see it on the internet. If you have MAGA supporters and then they say, well, I'm not going to support Trump anymore because of the Israel stuff. The thing about it is, if you're like a liberal and you're really anti-Israel, you're likely more of a leftist. Because think about all those people that are on the streets and stuff. Those are leftists, many of them, that are like extremely pro-Palestine. And that's an entire different angle than the people on the right that are anti-Israel. It's more like colonization and all that with them. People on the right, the way I see it is, if you're like a MAGA, and most of the people that aren't MAGA anymore are more right wing, and they say, well, it's a Zionist occupied government and it's Israel, and that's why we can't support Trump. What if what is it? Dogecoin? Yeah, Dogecoin will be a 3 or 4x at best, I think. I think Doge is, it's been an amazing asset. It really has, if you want to call it that. But Doge will always be like the king meme coin. There may be a meme coin it's like Doge is the Bitcoin of meme coins. Doge is 100%. The question is, I was looking at ChatGPT, and they were like, well, there's like a 10 or a 20% chance that another altcoin will pass Bitcoin, in terms of market cap. I think there's no way. They're like, well, if there's some fucking quantum computing or something. They say Bitcoin is going to get hacked, and it's because of quantum computing. But they're creating safeguards against it. They're saying Bitcoin, people are going to be able to access anyone's wallet with quantum computing. I don't buy it. My take on Bitcoin, dude, the take on Bitcoin is extremely level-headed. I'm sorry. You're not going to get rich off of Bitcoin if you invest. Even if you invested, well, even if you invested 2 years ago, you'd be up like a 7 or 8x. Is that really going to make you rich if you invest? What are normies investing? $5,000, $10,000? Thoughts on Braylon Hollyhand? Well, I feel bad for the kid. I feel bad for him, but he's like some rich kid, and it's just not, But there's no way that a 19-year-old is going to take over for Charlie Kirk. It's ridiculous. What do you think about Ethereum as an investment? How do you think it will go? No, I would stay away from Ethereum. I like Ethereum. I like the blockchain. Pretty much everyone else hates it because the fees are so ridiculous. They've upgraded their chain, and they've got the layer 2 base now. The fees are not as big as a problem, but they still are a problem. So Ethereum, I mean, it's $500 billion, or maybe it's a little bit less than that now. But like, you're talking about another extremely high valued asset, Ethereum. And there's really, you would think there would be a Bitcoin competitor on Ethereum, but Bitcoin is not even based on not necessarily technology. I mean, there's a lot of coins that could do more than what Bitcoin does, but it doesn't even matter. Wasn't Charlie Kirk also 19 when he started? Yeah, that's not a good comparison. We're talking about who's going to replace him right now. What is this kid going to get, like 7 or 8 years and then he'll replace him? This kid is a baby. He's like a baby version of Karl Rove. It's just not going to work. Say what you want about Solana, but when it crashed to $9, you went majority in. No, 100%. Well, Solana's also a lot lower, but yeah, Solana's performed way better than Ethereum this cycle. It's not even close. It's also lower in market cap, so it likely will have more volatility. But yeah, Solana's like cycle low is $9 or $10. It's at $200 or whatever. It's phenomenal. For a higher cap, you're not going to find another return like that. Like, that's an established blockchain doing a 20x. Like, that is impressive. I'll say Solana is a very good investment if you bought it at the cycle low in 2022. That's a good investment, I have to say, because it's probably still going to go, what people say, $700 or $800 maybe. I don't know if that's true. Ethereum is bound to go up. Stablecoins acquitted. Yeah, but the problem is, yeah, Ethereum will go up. That's great. I hope Ethereum goes to $10,000. But the market cap of it's so immense. But dude, Ethereum's been such an underperformer too this cycle. At a certain point, you just have to look at it for what it is. I mean, it can't reach a new all-time high. I think it will, but it's like we've passed the point of panic with Ethereum. Like, maybe it'll do a 2x from its 2021 high. Benny Johnson has been riding Charlie's coattails, getting annoying. Really, these guys, they all know each other. I saw Benny Johnson with PBD. Took up an NFL money line parlay. Shish. $1 money line parlay, bro. It's just a waste. It's a waste to even. It's a waste to even talk about, bro. This type of shit is just. I don't like this type of stuff. What is the problem with us deporting illegal immigrants? I don't even want to, like. Oh my god, they're fighting each other because they don't want people to be deported. It's best upcoming normie coin. What was that? What was that coin that you just asked about? Asher? Yeah, that would Aster. That would probably be the best one. No, I'd have to look into it. What do you think about Mateer's chances to recover in time for OU Texas? I think it's zero, right? Wasn't he out a month? We are getting rid of their votes. I mean, they you know, whether or not they voted or what, I it to me it's marginal. It's not what people think. I don't think they swung elections with it. AMP coin, I don't know. Are you talking about America? You're not talking about America Party, are you? Because I don't know. This is probably a different one. You think Don Jr. could be president one day? No, no, no. You see what's going on in North Carolina right now? Somebody pulled up on a boat and started shooting people at a restaurant. They're saying 3 dead right now. Southport, North Carolina. Saturday night. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I hadn't heard about that story. No, I hadn't heard about that. What happened to Jake Paul's coin? I didn't know he had one. Really? A lot of them were doing that stuff. Look at the Yeezy coin. It's all crap, man. And it steals volume and liquidity. The Trump coin was really bad. It was really bad. Thoughts on the movement pushing Caucasian mixing just to bleach more brown so in the long run we get more Caucasians? Well, what happens when a Caucasian mixes with Hispanic? I guess it depends on the tone, the skin tones of the dude. I don't. I actually really haven't heard much of that. I feel like that's something that really is. I don't know. I mean, is that where they're at with demographics now? Where they that seems like a cope for men to get with Hispanic women, but I don't know. White Mexican girls are hot as fuck. Yeah, they age badly. That's the problem. We need to just find a decent coin with a lower or lowish market cap and chill the hell out of it. Well, listen, when it comes to crypto, I would say it depends your portfolio, but I would say focus on like 2 or 3 coins. You don't want to like $1,000 into 10 different coins. That shit doesn't work, especially for a lot of you guys who have small capital. Oregon got a TD, an extra point from the tie, so Oregon's winning now. Damn, that game went to overtime, bro. Bama's gonna win. 0 points scored in the fourth quarter. What happened to Georgia? Dude, this fucking. I thought Georgia would win this game, but of course, you know it's the SEC. They're both gonna have one loss now, but Georgia's gonna have an SEC, in conference loss. It can be with any race of women, and the kids just must race mix with the next generation, and they become looking fully Caucasian. Yeah, but we're talking about generations, like 4 generations down the line. I mean, how do you trust your kids to follow that? Thoughts on mixing with East Asians? There's a lot of different versions of that. Which country are you talking about? You heard that Jared Goff had the same surgery from the same surgeon Mateer did and recover in just 12 days, so you don't think it's completely. Yeah, Mateer's a gamer. He could probably do it. I wonder if it's his throwing hand, it's probably an issue though. Um so but he's a gamer. I'm sure he could go out there and try and gut it out, but then you've got to worry about him re-injuring it. You got to worry about is he 100%? Why mix at all? That's stupid. Well, I mean, it's depend. I guess a lot of these guys they think it's a lot easier for them to get a more attractive minority woman in the United States than for them to get a Caucasian. That's just the reality with a lot of these guys. As a Caucasian man, why are Caucasian men so obsessed with Asian chicks? Yeah, I don't really think that's true, man. I mean, the number one mate with Caucasian men is Caucasian women. And if you look at the actual studies, there's really not this crazy amount. What happens, sure. But Asian chicks obviously are very ladylike. They're very thin. They're very traditional. They are smart. They'll follow your lead. They don't have tattoos or the obnoxious tattoos that white women are getting now. We got to ban tattoos for white women from getting tattoos. Oh my god. You'll just see it on every college white girl. Oregon touchdown 30-24, missed a two-pointer. God damn it. So that's it. There goes the cover. Because if Penn State wins, they're gonna win by 2 points. Michael Hawkins Jr. I think he's decent and he's got experience. I think he's decent. I mean, they'll beat Kent State. They got lucky. They got Kent State. Active shooter North Carolina. Yeah, I know. I heard about that. It's bad. White girls can also be incredibly mid, but they're a 10 of 10 more than other races. Oh yeah, well I mean every race is gonna have a lot of mids, bro. Bama just won. They ran. I mean, there were 0 points scored in the fourth quarter of that game. That's brutal. It's brutal. You seem to hate tattoos more than calorie surplus. I probably hate calorie surplus more than that. Have you noticed conservative women are better looking? Well, yeah, because they more adhere to traditional gender roles of being thin and watching their figure and being feminine. So that's based on the ideology of what these modern liberals are. They don't believe in, feminine women or anything like that. They think it's bad. So of course they're going to be less attractive to a man. As a Gen Zoomer, what's your theory on why young men are increasingly becoming more right wing while women are the opposite? Well, it's just based off of the two extremes. Look at South Korea, especially with feminism. Men are going to shift more and more to the right, but men are already like it's not this crazy thing with now it's happening more with young people, but this is just how it is on average. If you look at even 50-year-old women versus men are going to be more conservative. Women are going to be more liberal. Now it's exaggerated, and I also think it's more exaggerated with extreme belief when you're younger. So when you're younger, you're going to have more extreme beliefs, and then you grow older. But a lot of times people grow older, they do generally become more conservative as time goes on. But I think it's just a general thing where women, it's more of a suicidal empathy, and a lot of it is just an ignorance on U.S. history, unfortunately. And so that's why a lot of them turn out liberal. But it's also the college. I mean, 98% of U.S. professors are liberal. So a lot of them are getting this slow indoctrination through college. They don't even know it. And it's more the suicidal empathy. They just want to be good people, so they're liberal. And things like that. Where do you even find East Asian women at? You're a passport, bro. You find them in San Francisco. You find them in major cities. That's what I would imagine you'd find them. You find them on the West Coast, bro. Because that's relatively close to their home. James Franklin lost again. That's tough for them. They got Ohio State on the road still. That's a brutal loss for them. Oof. Dude, they got outgained by like fucking so many yards. This is not well. Actually, they came back a little bit in yardage. They still got outgained by like 170 yards, but Penn State, man, they got Ohio State. They got an easy fucking schedule. Holy hell. They'll probably lose to Ohio State, but all these other games, I mean, Indiana could be challenging for them, but they're at home. Iowa could be challenging, I guess, but Iowa's got a talent deficiency. Thoughts on multiple wives, like how they allow in Islam? Yeah, I think it's terrible. I think it's a horrible cultural thing, horrible religious thing. It shouldn't happen. You've been to that place in North Carolina where the shooting was? That's crazy. You'd never expect a boat to do something like that. That's an insane thing. So the boat pulled up to like there's water and then there's the bar. It's like a riverside bar. That's insane. Why are more educated people, professors, teachers, doctors, more liberal, while dumber jobs are more Republican, military, farmer, construction? Well, it's based off of blue collar versus white collar. And when you look at the education system just in general, I think Massachusetts and the upper northeast is a great example of this. A lot of those people really don't live with any of the things that they vote for. You know, those are extremely white areas, and those areas are very highly educated. They're the most educated areas of any place in the United States. It's like Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and they all have the most amount of white people. And they say, well, it's because they're all liberal. Well, no, they're all white. But those people they all vote for, they're all very educated, but they all vote liberal, but then they're all so white. It's like their states are really white, so they don't actually live with it and they're detached from it. And I think with many of these more educated people, they have a certain amount of money. There's guilt that comes with it. It's like, I got this money because I'm white. I got this money because I'm advantaged. I got this money because I have all these different factors at play that make me be able to, accrue this amount of wealth. And so I think it becomes a guilt thing with a lot of them. But the campuses have been extremely liberal forever now. I'd actually like to do a deep dive on when campuses got really liberal. Feel like it's been decades. Thoughts on Avalanche? It's very high in market cap. Very, very high in market cap. At AVAX? Yeah, I know of it. It's a chain. I think it's because more professionals and care about their appearance in the professional arena, i.e., LinkedIn, so they care about what people think. Yeah, that's a lot of it. It's like it's almost like a social credit score in and of itself to be liberal, like be a white liberal. In a lot of those social circles, it's important for them, because anything conservative, and this goes back to World War II. If you're conservative, it's like inherently pro-white, and then that's inherently Nazi. I mean, this is serious. This is how it happens. And this goes back to World War II, and that's why people are so ashamed of it. Penn State and Georgia just got owned. Yeah, Penn State. I mean, Georgia, they can come back from that. That Georgia, how do you lose that game at home? I mean, it's not even like Alabama's that great of a team, honestly. I mean, Bama's talented, but you actually got a loan to invest in a crypto. That's not going to end well, man. I told you not to do that. How much did you get? Thoughts on NoFap? Are the benefits real or not? I think it depends on the individual, honestly. Probably depends on the individual. I think you got to look at it from, from a human standpoint. I think, it is pretty nasty just to masturbate from a human standpoint and what that's doing to your body. There is a nastiness to it. If you're in academia, big tech, you can get purity tested on liberal ideology a lot. You can lose friends, network, job, girlfriend, just about everything unless you at least present as neutral. I think it's a big problem if you present as neutral. You know, they're saying that's not acceptable. They say if you're neutral, you have, especially as a white person, they say, "Oh, well, you must be so privileged to not have to care about politics." You know, they're doing a lot of that now. I think they find it. A lot of the liberal women, if they're really liberal and they try and vet guys when they date, and the guy says, "I don't care about politics," or I'm politically neutral, they say that's a big red flag. You don't care. You don't know the oppression your people have caused other people. So for them, it's, of course, they don't realize the white people built the fucking country. The reason the country is where it is today, the reason the country is the number one superpower in the world, the reason everyone wants to come here from third world countries. And then they say, well, we colonized everywhere. Yeah, because we could, because we had the infrastructure of our own country to be able to go out into other countries and colonize them. But these women, they don't know any of that stuff. Agree that neutral is barely acceptable. It's the start of having any chance. I guess it depends how crazy they are. But yeah, I'm just saying I've seen a lot of that from people where they'll be like, I'm neutral or I'm not political, and they'll be like, ah, wow, you must have crazy privilege to not care about politics. You know, that's what it is. North America was practically empty. 5 million, they had 5 million people in the early 1500s, so they get to claim all of North America. We stole all of their land. 5 million people. I'd like to find like a city and compare that to in the United States who has 5 million people. It's all of their land though. Of course, they came through the Bering Strait. Are you committed to streaming later now? No, I go through these periods. I go through periods where I'll stream at 7 o'clock and then at 9 o'clock, and so it just depends what period. That sounded like I'm a fucking girl on a period. It depends what like time frame I'm on. The world is turning on Israel. Does Bibi not care? Of course he cares. They're doing all these outreach to influencers. I saw another outreach where they tried to connect with this TikTok Republican girl. She did a video on it. She's trying to talk up Israel. They're trying to outreach to all these conservative influencers. Israel is right now. They deeply care about it. Their state, their country has been tarnished. I mean, there's just, they've done it themselves, I guess you could say, because of their situation with Gaza and stuff. You know, it's, they obviously want to remove a lot of the Palestinians, you know. So obviously that's not going to go over well with people. You should do a Lego Titanic build. I don't like building sets that are not minifigure scale. So I think the Titanic is definitely not going to be minifigure scale. I know what set you're talking about. More than 100 men died building the Hoover Dam. Well, look at the Panama Canal. How many people died building that? It's all men, of course. But that's the whole idea of the different gender roles. Of course, men are going to have to do things more dangerous. Men also have more responsibility in the home in terms of the finances. Women will not have to do as dangerous things. They have to be the main caretaker of the children. But it's all this just modern stuff where it's 50-50 and yeah, because the shit in Gaza is stupid. Hundreds of thousands of Christians are being genocided in Nigeria, and none of these activists have a word to say about it. Muslims are responsible for that. Yeah, I know that is the other thing to where it's like, well, if you have all of this, and look what Israel is doing, it's bad. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff, but there's so many things happening throughout the world that are so heinous, but there's such this massive focus on this one thing, and obviously it's political, right? But I do wonder just how heinous their other things are happening because this is happening thousands. Well, this is where they get you because we give Israel money. We're not giving these other countries monies to do this type of shit. So it's like, well, we're responsible for this, so we have to talk about it. And I've been saying, I tell people, it's like, if you look at the amount of money we give Israel, it's like a fucking token. I mean, we give Ukraine in the last like 3 years more money than we gave Israel in the last 50. But if we still fund Israel, well, then this is going to be an issue. Do you think getting rid of Bibi would change Israel's image? Probably not. No. I mean, who are they going to replace him with? Somebody probably more rabid. They're going to go with the greater Israel theory and stuff, and I don't know how real that is. I'd have to do research on it, but they're trying to acquire territory. Israel is. Didn't realize you stream on the weekend. Just saw you live. Yeah, it's later normally. It's more so Israel has a higher standard of living than America, yet we still fund them. I hear you. I mean, I think it is kind of a false equivalency. Look at Israel. It's never going to be positive. I was thinking about it. This is a holy war. It's a biblical war. It's not going to be solved. I mean, you can expel the Palestinians. Maybe that solves it, right? But you're never going to solve this. You've got Jews and Arabs. This is not going to be solved with a two-state solution. It just can't be. There'll just be another war. Men make up over 90% of the workers who die on the job each year. Yeah, I mean, and that's honestly, that's just how it is 100%. But that's a gender role specific thing, of course. But then it's like women, and that's the thing with women, they want to have all these jobs, they get paid as much as men. But look at the jobs that men are doing, they're extremely dangerous. That's why men tend to get paid more. They die more, they're more of a risk taker. That's why men tend to invent things and find companies. It's risky to do. You're not doing the whole gerbil game of college and then degree and then you know internship, and that's what women do all the time now. There's inherent differences within the genders. Thoughts on aliens? Well, some form of aliens exist. I don't know if the form of extremely tall, skinny people, but there's some form of aliens I would imagine that exists somewhere. But I don't know. I just think the universe is such an insane thing. I can't really understand it. I don't think it's impossible to understand because it's too big. We can't really compare it to anything because it's just too big. Just the concept of it, it's just impossible to really scale the universe. Israeli Palestinian land isn't even that good, to be honest. Well, I mean, look at the borders right now. It's two different split areas that are randomly split. It's a singular strip in southern Israel, and then it's the fucking West Bank. There's always going to be fighting with that. I mean, what even are those borders at this point? Like, it looks like they're in the middle of a fucking war, even when they're not with those type of borders. Did you see the clip of the two UK police officers, one white, one Muslim, and they were in front of the door? Yeah, I saw that. I know. That was a huge like meme on social media these past few days. Men can work more, women can't. That's another. That's it's actually a pure way to really describe why men get more bonuses, things of that. They tend to just work more on average. Yeah, based on the biology, based on the ability to not tire as easily. They weigh more. I mean, you're right. This is just all. Thoughts on Star Wars? I looked up. I asked ChatGPT, when do you think they could build a Star Destroyer, and it said probably in 2500. So probably in like 450 years we can, or 470 years we can build a Star Destroyer. Imagine that. Israel will not give amnesty to Hamas or free 100% of the terrorists like Trump wants. I know they're using it as, both of them are using the hostages as leverage. Women get paid more than men in the 18 to 29 bracket in DC, New York City, and other big cities. By the way, yeah, well, they're more educated, right? They're more educated. Well, they have degrees. That's the thing. So they're more educated. Thoughts on Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories? Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's always going to be conspiracies. I would love to see them release the autopsy just to clear up, but I don't really buy pretty much all the conspiracies, honestly. I mean, I do think you look at Erica Kirk, and I'll say this is what I'll say. I'm starting to see the Charlie Kirk Twitter account and the YouTube account, and they're posting stuff, and it's like, but this is a weird thing, because Charlie Kirk obviously had all these followers and stuff, so they want to keep the accounts live. But there is something that's, it's like, I mean, it's just, I guess it's depressing. Everyone acts like October 7th didn't happen. Well, if you look into it, there's political reasons why Israel would let that happen, or it would allow parts of that to happen, because obviously they're gonna fucking expel all the Palestinians now. Yeah, nobody thinks space is fake. It's just it's impossible to comprehend, really. You ran 10 miles. That's impressive if you actually did. You watch college football, but not NFL anymore. You're barely hanging on watching college football. Yeah, I can't watch the NFL anymore. You love Sun Chips. I used to eat Sun Chips when I was younger. Thoughts on Arab countries not wanting the Palestinians? Nobody wants to take the Palestinians. It's a complete mess. And why would those countries want to take the Palestinians? What are they, Jordan and Egypt? Yeah, send them to the Western Europe. That's where they're. No, I don't know where they're going. Hopefully not there. Nice build on the Lego build. 14K pieces is no easy feat. Oh yeah, it's an epic one. Can't watch the CFL. Can only watch the NFL. Yeah, there's no way I could watch the CFL. Even when I liked the NFL, there's no way I could watch any arena football or anything like that. Space is fake and gravity is a theory, not a law. Nobody knows what it is. Well, it has to be called something. You could call anything fake. That technically, then under that thought process, you could call literally anything's fake and say, "Oh, you just don't know what it is." There's a lot more complicated stuff than that people call stuff. NFL players going to Saudi Arabia, it's a joke. It's for money. It's a joke. I mean, the Saudis have to get involved in like North American sports now. That's great. Heard that an autopsy was not done for the Charlie Kirk assassination, and he was embalmed right away because Erica Kirk posted the video of his hands like a day or two after the assassination. Right? Well, you have to be embalmed right away, but the autopsy would have already happened. She posted that video on Friday. That's not surprising that he would be embalmed that quickly because you have to preserve the body. But they would have already performed the autopsy on Wednesday night. I don't know if they performed it. I had heard from somewhere somebody was saying that they didn't perform it. They have to perform it according to Utah law because it was a murder. How's Colorado beating BYU? I mean, is BYU really that good? I mean, that's not too shocking. They were only 7-point underdogs. Officer Tatum did a video debunking people who thought no autopsy was done. I would imagine there was an autopsy done, and that's going to clear up a lot of things, I'm sure, on the wound and the exit and the entrance of it. How did Illinois beat USC? I'll be honest. Illinois. Listen. I give Illinois credit for that win. They played well. They had 500 yards of offense. I didn't think their offense would be able to muster 500 yards. Yeah, their defense let up a lot, but that's a good win for Illinois. It really is. Their season was cratering. I mean, they got a great situation facing a USC team traveling like that, traveling into a time zone, playing in that 9 a.m. Eastern window, coming from the West Coast body clock. Illinois got a great situation. It seemed like USC was lethargic to me. Then they turned it on. But you give Illinois credit. Why are people telling me to watch Deborah Leah clip? I don't know what it is, man. It's some fucking Israel shit, probably. It's like... He's an Israel shit, but it doesn't matter if what Brandon Tatum... If there's an autopsy, there's an autopsy. People are going to lie and say there's not an autopsy. If there's an autopsy, it happened. You call him an Israel shill. This is just a point of fact. So the autopsy we would expect to happen. Hopefully that dispels a lot of the shit. Dude, there's people saying, and this is on PBD podcast, they're like, oh, this guy is a fucking sniper. This guy is an expert. He has 2 million views. Zoom in really closely to Charlie Kirk's side. You can see the bullet or the fucking, they say it's blood splatter or something. They say he got shot from behind. It's Charlie Kirk's fucking necklace. Charlie Kirk was wearing a necklace. And then all the PBD guys are like, whoa, we didn't know that. It's his necklace. They think it was blood splatter. And there's this dude who's like this expert. He's got all these, because all these guys are the same. It's the caricature. They get all these muscles. They're like, I'm a sniper or whatever. And I saw this and I zoom in and look at the fucking something that comes up right here. Oh, it's his necklace. Yeah. So who's going to shoot Charlie Kirk from what, behind the fucking... Where is the bullet hole in the screen? Somebody tell me that. Like, these theories, this is where it gets to, like... Pay 48K to ask PBD. Do you remember that? Dude, it's like things go by so quickly. Yeah, PBD had to respond to that. That's hilarious. I guess he got fucking angry. Like, he's like, fuck this kid. Dude tries to advertise off of it. It's like, dude, nobody's paying 48K. You want to say it's 24K or 48K? Come on, man. Stop. Who's going to pay you 24K for a fucking 15-minute phone session? People who say he was shot from behind never saw the video. No, they saw the video. Absolutely. They say it's an exit wound. Have you heard of the Jack in the Box type conspiracy where the shooter popped up from the ground and shot Charlie Kirk and then went back in the ground? Yeah, that's like it was a midget who did it. That's how he was able to do it. Thoughts on looks maxing? I think losing weight is a good thing. It's proportional. People, they take it too far with the looks maxing stuff for sure. But if they say lose weight and stuff like that, I think it's fine. Tatum is a good propagandist for BB. Evidently not. No, he's not. Anyone that's a propagandist for BB is not doing a very good job. They have a fucking like 5% approval rating in the United States. Unless you're talking about congressmen, then they've got like a 95%. Those people won't believe an autopsy report. They'll say it's a government cover up. Yeah, but I mean, but I'm still interested to see what it shows because I mean, okay, this is the one thing I'll say about the conspiracy theorists. Yes, them saying that, oh my goodness, Charlie Kirk has extremely dense bones and that's why it stated, that's a little bit ridiculous, right? I mean, there can be some type of trajectory to where maybe it splinters on the inside of Charlie Kirk's body, but to sit there and say, well, Charlie Kirk was magical and that's why the bullet didn't exit, I mean, will USC go unranked? Yeah, they're going to have to go unranked. They were 21. They're not going to be ranked. Brain maxing by listening to Joe Rogan daily. The most normie comment of the stream. Normie alert. I'm joking. I'm not going to say that. No, Dean, you're not banned, man. You're not banned. But it's like, dude, what do you want me to react to some fucking Israel clip? Like, it's the same shit over every fucking time. Do Republicans have any chance in New Jersey? Absolutely, Republicans have a chance for sure. 100%. It's going to be close either way. They said the bullet didn't exit because the FBI can't find it, and that's super embarrassing. No, that's not why they would say that. If there's an exit wound, they would say the bullet exited. They wouldn't say the bullets didn't exit unless they just blatantly lied. Do you think Oregon will jump Ohio State? Probably not. Because where is Oregon right now? 6? Yeah, I don't think they would jump Ohio State. They might go to 2. Yeah, because Georgia lost. Yeah, they'd probably go to 2 if I had to guess. Who else is even there? With Georgia losing. The fact that you called the FSU Virginia game. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Will Virginia become ranked? It's possible. They do have one loss, Virginia, so that might keep them from being ranked. Um, they might be ranked in the low 20s, maybe, for getting that win. Yeah, maybe like 24 or 23.
So something I would like to raise, which was actually my first published paper, was how you and the Likud party are cut from the same ideological cloth as Trump and the GOP in America. And so specifically with Charlie Kirk's assassination, who was a big mentor of mine, he's my first mentor in the space, evangelicals, from all my research, evangelicals are the reason that Israel has been supported in public sphere outside of just Jews. So with Charlie's assassination and with the kind of trajectory that we see with like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I guess I'm curious about what's another game plan if we lose evangelical support for the state of Israel. What's our backup plan to be strong, like outside of the diaspora? So something I would like to raise, which was actually my
But what was the where is the what is this, another Israel struggle sesh?
Christian influence.
I can't even hear this.
Okay. You said, we talked about the woke right, and you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane, they're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class?
Followers.
TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it's...
yeah, it's going to be very pro-Jew, the TikTok
the other
purchase.
One? What's the other one?
I'm sure he's happy about that.
It's most important. X. That's
Cesspool.
very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot, and I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
Yeah, it's just, to me, this is another struggle session. They're just not, they're trying to reach all these influencers. And it's just like, what is this really going to do? I mean, everybody's opinion is already made based on what happened in Gaza. You know, on the left and the right, not the congressman, but just like... Change your camera angle to look up at you instead of down. The camera angle is above me. Maybe I tilt it. It's all of a sudden very viral. What do you mean? Well, beautiful sunset. Georgia had a really good sky before their game. Georgia did. She's wifey material. Who, that girl? She's attractive. But she's seemingly very very pro Netanyahu.
Check on your family. the fuck out of here. I'm Mexican. Shut the fuck up. Because I don't want my people getting hurt. Because over you, stupid motherfucker. Not because of you. I'm fighting for human rights, you dumbass. I'm not gonna do what you told me to do, you fucking dumbass. You don't got no brain. You're stupid. I got love for my country. Fuck up. I was born here too, motherfucker. I just want my people to be right. I just want my people to be right.
He told people to get out the street. He's like, this is the fucking truth. I will check down here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny to see the role reversal there. A white guy who's like this Antifa fighting for supposedly Mexicans and minorities, and the Mexican is like pro-America or whatever. I think the Mexican guy was like supposedly pro-America. I don't know if it's friendly fire. White deaths exceed white births. Yet you'll still want to move to a white country. You think Minnesota will flip next election? The Kirk effect is real? I don't think Minnesota's going to flip. I mean, it's possible. You know, you don't know. You know, Minnesota, there's a lot of weird-ass liberal stuff going on in Minnesota. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Is deporting an American considered cannibalism? I think you get your terms mixed up. Deporting it depends what the American does. Portland is ground zero for Antifa. Yeah, no, I think if like Portland had a founding place or a capital, it would be Portland, Oregon, wouldn't it? If Antifa had a founding place. We are a lost cause. Minneapolis controls the state. GOP would need to get 8% increase to flip or come close. It's too hard now. Yeah, I think people go back to 2016 and they think there's a chance. You're right. The variables of the state are probably too different to be able to do that. Depends how many illegal Somalians they deport, starting with Ilhan Omar. Is that ever gonna happen? I don't think it's gonna happen, man. They keep saying they're gonna deport Ilhan Omar, just dude, come on. Video claiming brown shirt guy pushing his detonator button on shirt as Charlie Kirk gets shot, and then yeah, I don't buy any of that. I think that's all fake, or I think that's all just conjured up. I mean, people make up so many things when they say. Remember, they said the one guy was giving signals. It was like Charlie Kirk's best friend. I mean, that's kind of how these things go. What is the right wing equivalent of Portland? Well, it'd have to be like a far right town or something. I don't know. Maybe in a really Republican state, but I don't even know. It's like Portland hasn't even. I haven't even heard much about Antifa until because of the shooting and everything. You want to join the NBA one day? Well, good luck. I bet he has no girlfriend. You got me. Will South Carolina turn blue? No chance. Thoughts on New Jersey governor's race? Good chance of winning. Honestly, good chance of winning. There's going to be a lot of Republicans are going to be fired up for that. That's like the first big election post the Kirk assassination. I think people are going to be fired up for it. I know they're saying there's going to be, because Trump's in office, liberals are going to be higher turnout, and they already are higher turnouts. It's an off year. But remember, Republicans won Virginia in 2021. And that was after Biden winning, but still. Why did UGA hand the ball off to a 150-pound son of a booster? Did that seriously happen? Dude, UGA, how did they score 0 fourth quarter points? It's crazy. They're down by 3 going into the fourth quarter. No scores in the fourth quarter. Some shit came out on the New Jersey. Yeah, I saw. Maybe that'll also help. Remember Antifa back in 2020's COVID? You were living in Orem, Ute Provo area. They would be wearing all black clothes and black masks, protesting for George Floyd BLM riots. In every major city, I believe that was. Yeah. You like to watch LSU? Dude, LSU's offense is terrible. There's 9 people shot in a boat in North Carolina right now. I know, I heard that's very bad. Saturday night shooting. So they shot into the boat. Or somebody on the boat shot people on the boat. Virginia has a trend of electing governors opposite of the incumbent party in the White House, but still, that's in 2020 it's a liberal state. 2020, 2024 for Youngkin to win, that was a clear upset. Even if you want to say they go the opposite, it's really not. Virginia's not a swing state. New Hampshire, you can definitely flip. Yeah, I mean, I think New Hampshire can flip. You're in a rural area in East Tennessee, so it's illegal to not cheer for the Vols, but you swear they're actively trying to lose games this season. I mean, what are they, 4-1, 3-1? Them losing to Georgia was really bad because they should have won that game. That's true. I don't even know what this is, man. I gotta get off of it. Bro, like, who cares about this guy? Like, this guy's irrelevant. Why do you care? Like, AI cannot defy quantum. It's quantum computing that can break into Bitcoin wallets. But I think they're going to upgrade their security or some shit. Did you see Vivek say Fuentes needs to come back to YouTube? Yeah, I saw that video. Your car alarm just went off and police are now demanding my neighbor get out of their house. You guess they barricaded their house or something. IDK, nothing wrong with my car though. Wait, what happened? Your car alarm went off and it scared them that much? It's midnight, so happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Vivek grifting. Yeah. You have Vivek trying to get on the good side. He's got an election to win. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. It's very. It doesn't feel like birthday. You gotta, because I gotta go to sleep, and then it'll be. It never feels like your birthday when you get older. It's all. You stop throwing parties after 17. Really, that's what it was. Is that the video, dear YouTube? Yeah, yeah. It's a video he just posted. It's like 4 minutes long. Thank you for the birthday. You'll send me a stripper. No, I'm not. I don't want a stripper. Thank you. No more health insurance. Yeah, I got a plan. I got a plan on a medical mutual. I gotta fill out some stuff. It actually doesn't expire until the 30th. I got a SuperMed PPO plan. It's very good healthcare. I got it through a small group, so I think that's what I'll be doing. Thank you for the birthday message. Thank you for the $20. Christina. I appreciate that. You think they're just saying that to get the price to crash? What, on Bitcoin? It wouldn't be. It wouldn't really. It wouldn't crash the price. It's a mild concern that really is not going to. That type of stuff's not going to crash the price. It's too high. Coin check, bro. The coins are not doing well. Even though it's just an excuse to eat an expensive steak. I gotta eat at a nice restaurant, yeah. Something like that. It's your birthday too, 36. You're 36, I'm 26. Yeah, there's a lot of people that were born in late September, mid-September. It's a very common time for birthdays. America getting smoked in Ryder Cup. I saw that. I was shocked. That's an annihilation. I knew they were doing bad, but then I looked at the score. Technically, every single day is a common day for a birthday. No, 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 no. It's based on. There's more birthdays on certain days, obviously. Coin's not doing well just means it's time to buy. That's true. That is true. You're not the only one who has a birthday. Happy birthday. Well, if it's your birthday as well, happy birthday. I want Ireland for my birthday. I don't think we're gonna get Ireland. We might have to settle for Greenland or Iceland. What percentage of your viewers are men, but it's a majority? I don't know. Honestly, I haven't looked in forever. It's probably like 95.5. Get yourself one of those Bitcoins with this. Yeah, if you sent me that donation in 2013 for $1, I probably would be able to buy a Bitcoin. Or like maybe 2012, 2011. staring down the barrel of 30. 27, 28, 29. Yeah. I mean, not really. Maybe at 29 you're staring down the barrel of 30. Or you could argue maybe 28. It's all downhill after 25. It depends how successful you are in life, you know. Definitely downhill in terms of your body. Nah, men can age well. It just depends. Happy birthday. What's your favorite type of dog? Border Collie is my favorite type of dog. Thank you for that. Closer to 30 than you are 20? Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't really... I do remember, like, my 19th birthday. It's pretty... And my 18th birthday. It's pretty crazy to think about that. And it's already been, like, 7 or 8 years. As a birthday gift for YouTube, or the Trump administration has just taken over Greenland. Wow. What a way to get thrown into the mainstream. It's a whirlwind. 27 hit hard. Yeah, I mean, I'm not 27. Look, you grow older. This is the problem with growing, because I started to realize, when you realize your body is like gonna fucking fail on itself, that's when it gets bad. You know, I started to become cognizant of that when I was like 24. You used to help your aunt raise pups and then trade them for herding. Border collies are extremely intelligent. Extremely intelligent. I love the black and white fur. I love the fur as well. Just in general, the straight fur. Do the Browns upset the Lions? Nah. The Browns aren't going to win. The Browns got their one win. Maybe they'll get 3 wins this year. They'll probably get like 3 or 4 wins. I don't think they're going to win. Your dad's body is pretty much falling apart. He's only 45. It depends how much you take care of it, what you put in it, things like that. I mean, some people have terrible situations, but you know, nowadays with modern stuff, you could be very fine at 45. Just depends. Southport, North Carolina shooting update. I heard about that. It's probably trending. See if it's on here. No, Ryan Day's got to be trending. Ole Miss has got to be trending. Pierre Polyev. Drew Aller. Oregon, Penn State. Ryan Williams. Brian Kelly. Michelle Obama. I swear, some of these people trend for no reason. Like, what even is... Something happen? Did you hear Obama talk about how he and Mike are having marital issues? Wow, that's why? Doesn't surprise me too much. Seems like their marriage has been on the wrong track for a while. You love how the news reports shootings once Republicans get in office, yet it always seems to be the liberals doing. I mean, it's just unfortunate in general, you know. I just think it's sad, you know. But people are going to try and politicize it, of course. It depends. Like obviously the Charlie Kirk shooting was really politically motivated. Did you see Nick make fun of Erica Kirk? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's impossible to say. I don't really think Erica Kirk is gonna stay as the leader. Like, isn't it? I think it's a temporary thing. They're gonna have to anoint someone there, but there's no one to anoint. But I honestly, I didn't think she would be anointed. But I mean, I guess it's like, well, she's the wife, so it's. What do you think of the new Charlie Kirk? The right wing bullied him. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the kid, honestly. I think the kid is just. Obviously, his father's rich, so. And they're trying to psyop him into existence, but people are not. I mean, he's just. It's like it's like a neocon dude. Like, obviously, the kid is not going to. People are not going to buy it. You hear about Tim the Tat Man and his bad heart, went to the hospital, had to restart his heart. Really? Is that serious? He's a big time streamer. Arch Manning ruined nepotism. Bronny James, and Arch Manning. Yeah, we'll see how. I mean, Arch Manning might just be a bad quarterback. Honestly, I think it's possible. Who is the new Charlie Kirk with the rich dad? Braylon. He's got a really weird Braylon Hallihan. Look up Braylon Hallihan. Fuentes is saying that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk had an arranged marriage. LOL. Wonder if there was any truth to that. Yeah, I don't think there's any truth to that. Honestly, I think he was just saying that. I mean, he would have to present his proof because they've talked about how they met multiple times. I don't see Charlie Kirk getting an arranged marriage. That would be shocking to me. Yeah, that just doesn't seem like Charlie Kirk to get an arranged marriage. He sucks at speaking. He just comes off as a rich kid. Comes off like a, rich pastor or something from in what I see. You never really cared much for Oregon's crazy uniforms. You much prefer the classic look. Ole Miss may low-key have the best combo of colors. Well, college uniforms are very traditional. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, with the numbers on the helmets. The college uniforms are exquisite. They're great. Ole Miss has great. The powder blue Ole Miss is amazing. The helmets. Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I don't think that's true at all. I think he's lying. I don't see how Charlie Kirk would do an arranged marriage. That's like it's like a religious Middle Eastern act. I mean, it's or an Indian act. It's not something you would do. What are you gonna do for your birthday? Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I normally there's not a lot of celebration, but I'll do some things with my family, maybe. But when you get older, there's not a lot of celebration. Do you have any interest in NASA or space stuff? It'd be really cool if you made like your 9/11 ones on Apollo or SpaceX stuff. Yeah, I thought about doing maybe this just the obvious, normie conspiracies. The moon landing. I think the moon landing is kind of like it kind of seems pretty clear cut to me. I'd have to really look into it though. You know, to me, there's viable options with the moon landing. You'd have a lot of it is so context based for the time period, so most people don't even get into that. You have to contextualize the time period to know a lot of those types of theories, things like that. Thoughts on Matt Walsh? I mean, he's just like a right wing guy. He tries to be the edgy right wing guy of the Daily Wire. Can I ask why you're not doing crypto vids? I'm doing crypto vids on my other channel, my smaller channel. You're 17, planning on going into politics and doing what Charlie did. You're further right and hope to gain some traction by your mid 20s. It's very challenging. I mean, you gotta prioritize social media, getting a name in social media, basically. If you want to try and do something like that, I would say the way Charlie grew was very unique to like the mid 2010s, but he was able to utilize social media extremely well. Hunter both ways won't work in the NFL long term. I think he'll just become a receiver then. Travis Hunter, he'll probably just become a receiver. Yeah, that's the whole thing with like doing the two. I mean, look at Otani. Otani does it's like a charade. Like Otani pitches one inning and people go crazy. The guy should just be a. I don't even know Otani honestly. Like, they try and do this thing because he's like the greatest player ever, but it's like, come on, this guy is winning NL MVPs. If he was in the AL, he's not winning MVPs. You got some respect for Matt Walsh back after the Keith Olbermann tweet. Still didn't forget that. What's your other channel? It's called DJings, DGINGS. You think the Republicans in 2030s will be more right wing than? Yeah, probably. I mean, but trends do change over time, so I don't know if for sure, but right now it's trending that way because younger people are more right wing than the current, significantly more right wing than the congressman. Judge is better than Otani. I mean, Judge is a better hitter. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, it's kind of, they'll immediately say, well, Otani, because he's a good pitcher. It's not even close, overall. But I think it's total bullshit, like with the Otani 50-50 thing. It's complete crap. They just they widen the bases. Why do no Otani fans mention that? They say 50-50. Yeah, because they fucking widen the bases. Otani wouldn't get 30 stolen bases with normal base sizes. They literally widen the bases. Remember Acuna had like 70 stolen bases? They fucking widen the bases. He gets 50 like baby stolen bases. Did you ever watch the Charlie Kirk Tucker Carlson interview from a few months ago? Depressing views on the future of Republican politics. Really? I don't think no. I mean, I probably saw clips from it because everyone's going back to clips of Kirk. Yeah, remember Otani had the issue with betting, and then he had a fall guy. It's all just crap. MLB's sitting there like, you remember MLB's like, this is our fucking superstar. Nothing happens to him. Yet Emmanuel Clase fucking does one bet and gets suspended for eternity. Think about that. Yeah, good win by Oregon. It's a good win by Oregon. There's not a place for Jordan Peterson anymore. Well, that's the self-improvement. Look at Andrew Tate. Look how much Andrew Tate has fallen off. That was the self-improvement. And the pair, it shifts quickly. And so it'll shift again. I don't know how fast or when, but you're probably right. Probably pretty fast. BG on the scene. Who's that? If Vance wins in 28, who do you see him replacing, keeping his new administration? Well, I think Bongino will be gone for sure. If not before, Bondi will be gone. I don't know. Tulsi might try and run against him. That could create a rift. Yeah, no, I know Sears is not far off of Youngkin, but that was also a situation where Biden had won, so it'd be a more Republican receptive voting, in 2021. Has the riot clips? Let me just see if I can find them. Trump has ordered U.S. troops to Portland, Oregon to protect ICE facilities from Antifa. Well, I mean, shouldn't they just arrest Antifa? It was a great interview for sure, but Charlie made some underrated insights into why Mondani is popular and why the Republicans are too confident on their current path. Bondi is going to pull a Monica Lewinsky to save her career. Yeah, Bondi, I think, is like the ultimate fall person within the administration. Based on the handling of this Epstein stuff. Self-improvement is still a thing, but the Israel stuff caught up. I think it's heavily shifted. It's heavily shifted past the self-improvements. Self-improvement is for sure is still a thing, but it should be a thing. You should try and self-improve. Like. Democrat governor tells Trump to stand down, not send in any troops. Bro, this is like the shit that's just... It's literally like fucking LA 2.0. Who's more suspicious, Israeli art students or dancing Israelis? Well, the Israeli art students had a much bigger scope, but I think the dancing Israelis have the smoke and gun. The Israel art students don't really have the smoke and gun. They have a bunch of circumstantial stuff. They don't have the smoke and gun that the dancing Israelis have. It is two different things. I mean, maybe you could relate it to one another, but they were never able to draw the comparison in terms of them talking at all, like communication. You think Pam Bondi has a worse approval rating than Kash Patel, but people are not happy with either of them? Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, 100%. Okay, well, why don't they just arrest all these people? Why is this even being allowed? Trump just declared them a terrorist organization. Just arrest them. Just arrest them and put them into... But I guess it's like Democratic-controlled police, Democratic-controlled judicial system in Portland. Just arrest them and extradite them to fucking Alcatraz and start it up again. I think the Israeli art students are just espionage with unfortunate timing. The dancing Israelis is the suspicious one. I think that's a fair take. The only thing I would say about that is they were monitoring hijackers, the art students. But I agree with you. I think it was a more wide-scale espionage campaign. It did have really suspicious timing, though. But the way in which they were going about it did not really have a relation to 9/11. They were basically casing government buildings and trying to probably wiretap certain government officials. So it is more just an espionage campaign, but it really stopped after 9/11. The kids of a lot of those Democratic governors and congresspeople were involved in the BLM riots. How many people got psyoped into that? Like, pretty much all the normies. Remember, all the normies did the black square? God. I found you when I was on a 9/11 bender a year ago, amazed at your presentation on 11 insights and stories. Couldn't find anywhere else, even after watching your 100 videos on the subject. Well, I appreciate that. We should have had Matt Gaetz. Impossible. He never would have gotten confirmed. Although I shouldn't say that. You never know. Netanyahu was saying who was cheering on 9/11. LOL. What about pulling up the clip of their people cheering them? Yeah, well, there's a lot of people within the Middle East that, because they want more of a U.S. presence. Saudi Arabia is another example. So it's a little bit more complicated than just Palestinians cheering or Israelis cheering. I mean, there was a Jewish woman that was interviewed at Ground Zero that was like gleeful because she knew that the U.S. would now understand what they had to face, what they were facing. Like they would reason with, and there would be U.S. support within the region. But there were also, Saudi Arabian Saudis who thought that it was going to be very good for them, and they have ties to it as well. Did you hear the stories about how Netanyahu hid bugs in bathrooms and other Israelis hid bugs around the White House, Washington, D.C.? Yeah, I heard about that. Matt Gaetz definitely a better choice. Unfortunately, never would have converted. Yeah, he had that thing with like the 18-year-old or 19-year-old or whatever. So that just disqualifies him probably with moderate Republicans and all Democrats right then and there. Whatever it was, whether people say it's false. Chances of Jon Stewart winning an election if he were to run, I think very low. That's not even his real. I think very low. Judges put a stop to it because of its victims' names. 98% of it is released. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, what are you even talking about? Release what? Like the entire file? I'm not even sure. Like, can they even? The other thing is, it's like, who's gonna be? What names are gonna come up? What is the file actually on? Is it on the clients? Is it on the entire scope of Epstein? Is it on all of the investigations? Is it a case file in talking about Epstein's life? It's like, what are we even talking about here? Obviously Trump is not in them to any degree that would incriminate him, like they say. Yeah, that's his real name, isn't it? That's insane, man. Jon Stewart's got no chance with that type of shit, man. There's no way, especially how it is now. Stewart is too smart to run. Names of the people who flew to Epstein Island. Yeah, well, I'm not even sure they have that. I highly doubt they have that fucking 15, 20, 30 years later. Good luck. very strange they would change their names. It's assimilation. Just got to be a strong conservative, not a rhino. Well, I mean, it's going to be Vance, I would imagine. Hunter or Dunn Jr. Yeah, that's the matchup America deserves. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. I think I did 2 hours live there. Yes, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, guys. Do you think we'll ever see the list? I think the list is gone. I mean, I don't know what they'll release to try and placate to people, but they've already tried to release certain files. It's not going to be good enough because, you know, they obviously want a lot of arrests. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. All right, I'll see you later. It is pretty late.